The Dub Jellison Podcast is presented by Indie Lumberjack. They proudly offer reasonable rates, safe, top quality, courteous, efficient service. Let Indie Lumberjack help you reach your goal of maintaining beautiful and safe trees. They're by far the best in the business. You can get a free quote on indielumberjack.com or email indielumberjack@gmail.com for inquiries. Again, get a free quote on indielumberjack.com. What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of the Dub Jellison Podcast, and today I have a Boilermaker legend, Willie Deane, with me. Willie, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. It's an honor. You're a little before my time, obviously. I'm only 20, so you graduated when I was like, what, 3 years old, maybe?
You're making me feel old, man.
Yeah. So obviously we're in the COVID-19 pandemic, and I understand you're in New York. So how have things been like up there?
It's been pretty hectic. A lot of people had a tendency to take this virus lightly until it hits home. I myself have had some close friends become victims to the virus. So, something that I'm taking really serious and just taking the necessary precautions because the virus like this is so new. It's really tough for scientists and doctors to understand everything about the virus and how you catch it and how it's passed on. So just try to do everything that you can to stay out of harm's way.
I mean, I don't know how close you are to like New York City and things like that, but like how locked down are you in your area?
Well, I'm about a little less than 2 hours from New York City, but up here, they put curfews on a lot of the restaurants and shopping areas. But other than that, they're just encouraging everyone to social distance, wear masks, and use as much sanitizer as necessary.
hmm Yeah, 100%. So what type of things have you kind of been doing? Obviously, we can't do a whole lot. Hopefully soon that we'll be able to get back to whatever normal may be. But what type of things are you doing in these last several months to try to keep your sanity and any projects you've been working on?
Oh well, I've been working on a lot. But before that, probably the most important thing that I'm doing is I'm able to spend a lot more time with my children. I have a wife and two daughters. My oldest daughter is 10. My youngest is 5. So with them, with their schools being on lockdown and having to learn remote, um, I get to be a lot more hands on with what they're learning and helping them with their homework and things of that nature. But aside from that, I'm just continue to well, I started an AAU team, but unfortunately, because of the whole COVID thing, we haven't been able to get together. So in the near future, I'll be coaching my AAU team. I'm also working on my non for profit, Life Enrichment, and that will be a tutoring facility for at risk kids and kids from low income families, and it will help them learn how to read and help them with their studies. And lastly, I'm just working on my books. Not sure if you're aware, but
hmm
most recently it was in 2019. I dropped my first children's book. I wrote 25 more, so that there will be a lot more coming. My second book is due to drop this year, and there will be more to follow. The plan is put all 25 out, and I was gonna put one out every year. So the first one that I put out is titled Love. It's available on Amazon if anyone would like to support. And then the next one that will be coming out in the near future, sometime this year, will be titled Monarch.
Yeah, when I realized that, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I don't know very many people that want to publish books. You know what I mean? Especially at former athletes. It's not something that is like super common, I guess. So what was your kind of inspiration around that? Obviously you did publish the one book, and I'll link that in the description so everyone can go get it if they want. And so what was your
Yes.
motivation or your kind of your inspiration to create
Well,
these?
well, writing was something that I always had a passion for, and it developed from just the things, the tough times that you go through in life, especially like in this situation. So what I've done was I've always used writing as a form of therapy. Um, but my main inspirations for the book were my children, my two daughters. They always asked for a bedtime story before bed, and I used to have to come up with these bedtime stories on the fly and off the top of my head. And this is actually my first book that I published is actually um, one of the stories that I told my daughters. It was actually one of their favorite stories, and initially didn't have any plans of publishing it. It was just going to be a keepsake for my daughters, for my to have words from their father long after he's passed on. But I had let some people read it, and they really enjoyed it, and they felt that a lot of people, children and adults, would be able to benefit from it. So it'd be a crime if I kept it just in house. So I let some publishers read it, and they were really supportive and excited about putting the project out.
Hmm. So going forward, what what do you hope to accomplish by putting this book out? Is it just to kind of build those relationships and kind of do what you did for your daughters for to have that translate to other families?
Yes, definitely. So all of my books have a message, and they all have jewels that have been dropped in them, from experience, as a child, and also experience on the other side of the perspective as a father. So each and every book, there will be something for the kids to learn from and appreciate, and they'll all be able to relate to. So that not only will it help the children with their reading and comprehension skills, but it will also be a teaching tool.
Hmm. And you talked about using writing as therapy. I know a lot of athletes kind of go that route, or maybe the artistic route of painting or music or some of that nature. So how much of that writing did you do like during your playing days?
Well, I wrote throughout the course of my life. Everybody experiences things in their life, whether it be traumatic or uncomfortable, or just some tough times like failures. And we don't always, at the time that we go through these failures or traumatic experiences, we don't always feel comfortable sharing them with relative or anyone at the time. So when I did go through these traumatic experiences, and I wasn't comfortable sharing the things that I went through at the time, writing was the tool that I used to get this stress off my chest, and still keep secrets until I was able to share them with other individuals and get get their opinions on it.
100%. I mean, excuse me. I think that everyone can learn from that. Everyone can kind of adopt that same philosophy, especially in these times with everything going on. People are locked down. People are. I mean, I don't know the specific statistics, but I'm sure mental health lines are getting blown up just because of everything that's going
Right.
on. So, I mean, that could be a form of therapy
Yeah.
for anyone out there who's going through anything. I obviously it worked for you, so I say give it a shot. Um,
Right.
but you mentioned your nonprofit, so talk a little bit about that and why you wanted to do that and what you hope to accomplish with it.
Well, the eventually the main goal with my non for profit life enrichment is for the tutoring facility to eventually become a school, um, an elementary school. But have to take baby steps, and so what it's going to do is it's going to help kids because the where it's stationed is right next to a low income, high risk, poverty area in my hometown, Schenectady, New York. So where it's located, I'll be able to help enrich that area of the city, and teach these kids how to read and help them with their homework and things of that nature, and in hopes of producing more college graduates and doctors and lawyers and things of that nature, instead of people who choose to go the crime route.
Hmm.
So
And I don't know much about your area, but is it kind of crime ridden?
yes, it is. It's a lot of crime, a lot of poverty, and it could definitely benefit from this educational institution that I'm working on opening. So I see it impacting a lot of kids, pretty well known in my hometown, and I know that once the facility opens, that a lot of kids will come to the facility to get the help that they need, and you know the skills and tools that they need to help them in the future as well.
Yeah, 100%. So since you retired about 3 years ago, have you found it difficult to? I mean, obviously you haven't, but talk about your philosophy maybe of finding these different projects to do outside of basketball.
Right. So it is difficult, to make the transition from uh, professional athlete, something that you've done for the majority of your life, and then now you're living somewhat of a more normal lifestyle. I don't travel as much anymore, but I'm enjoying it. I don't have any regrets. I'm still able to be around the game and coach kids. I'm able to spend a lot more time with my family, and because they made a lot of sacrifices over the years. So I have no regrets. Um, making that transition, and even though I made it a little bit early, I still could have played for 2, 3 more years, but it was just time. It was time for my daughters to get settled in their schools, because my daughters were moving around a lot when I was playing in Europe. They were in Italy one year, and then they were in France the next year, then they were in Italy, and then they were in Spain. So it was real tough for my daughters to get some stability, and now, they're able to get that and being in the same school, and developing friendships with their with the students in their class.
Hmm. Do you so like we mentioned, you retired a few years ago. Do you miss the game at all? And is that why you tried to get into coaching a little bit with your AAU team?
Well, I do miss the game. It's something that will always be a part of me, but it's something that will always be a part of me. But you know, now I feel it's my duty just to pass along the knowledge and experience that I have to the kids so that they're able to benefit from it and learn from my experiences that I've had and pass along my knowledge to them so that they can take it with them.
Yep, 100%. So going back to your playing career, how hard was it to walk away from the sport?
Um, well, it was tough, but like I said, I don't have any regrets because fortunately I was able to have a long career. Um, you know, I've been playing for since since I was 7 years old. So like I've been playing like 33 years, and I was able to play professionally for 15, 16 years. So you know, a lot of people are not fortunate enough to even play that long. I've been able to evade injury, which a lot of people aren't able to say. No, never had any major injuries that or surgeries that caused me to slow down. But I'm enjoying the time that I'm able to spend with my family and help my daughters with their academics and whatever their extracurricular activities that they're involved in.
Hmm. So like you mentioned, you played 15 years overseas. I think a lot of people have like I mean, not necessarily bad connotation, but it's just like, oh, he wasn't good enough to make it to the NBA if someone plays overseas. So talk about, I mean, I could only imagine all the experiences you had playing over there, all the different cultures you got to see. So talk a little bit about your experiences over in Europe.
Well, one thing that everybody, I'm sure, understands, and if they don't, maybe I can shed some light on it. Is that the NBA only has so many jobs, so it's impossible for them to put every single person in the NBA who's good enough to play in the NBA on the team because there's only so many spots available, and sometimes it comes down to who your agent is, who your father was,
Hmm.
and that's or who what relationships you have within the association. So um, I'm confident that me not being in the NBA had nothing to do with my ability. Um, I've been able to perform on the highest level and at every level and accomplish things that have gone down in the record books in Europe as well as at Purdue. So I understood that there are only so many jobs in the NBA, and you have to find other ways to provide for your family. And Europe did did just that. It opened up a lot of venues and avenues for players who weren't able to stick with an NBA roster to continue to play the sport that they love and also provide for their families. So I'm really appreciative of the leagues that were available to me in Europe.
Hmm. So what about all the different cultures that you experienced over there? I know you played in like 11 countries if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, well, each country was special in its own right. Every culture is different. Every culture has a different language, has different traditions, has different things that they celebrate. And I'm just thankful that I was able to learn the things that I have from the countries that I've been in. Um, for example, when I was in Russia, I was able to live in Stalingrad, which is Volgograd. I was able to live in Moscow and see the Kremlin go inside the Diamond Fund museums and really live in the culture and be, you know, a part of Russia, and I was able to live under Putin's rule, and not many Americans or can say that, that they lived in Russia on when Putin was at the helm.
I don't know a whole lot about Russia and like their government, but was it were they kind of like not like a dictatorship, but more towards that? Did you have to like be careful, you and your team? Do you guys have to be careful about what you said or anything like that?
Well, not necessarily about what we said, but it is a communist country, and um, based from the history, a lot of the culture, um, the people have the tendency to reflect from their expressionless face that that they're not friendly, but this is just based on history. This is just what they've been taught, and to conceal like their feelings. But I've had great experiences there, and I still have great friendships with people that I've met over there during my time living in Russia, and like I really enjoyed it.
hmm I know overseas you played against another Purdue basketball player, Chris Kramer. So what
Yeah,
was that kind of like? It was kind of a little bit of a different era, but not too far off.
right. So I was familiar with him just from watching the Purdue games. So it's always nice to run in Purdue alumni and be able to chop it up with them and talk about Purdue, and I was able to hear from Chris, like how things have changed, and then also I played against the guys at the alumni game, the last alumni game that we had. I was able to see a lot of the guys, and a lot of the guys that I'm older than, but I was able to catch some of their games when throughout the course of their college career. So it was nice.
hmm And then you also played in the TBT tournament with the
Right.
Syracuse team, I believe. Uh,
Yep. Yep.
Purdue was late on getting the ball rolling on our team.
Right.
We didn't get one until this year. So talk about that experience. I bet I mean, I love watching that tournament personally. It's a lot of guys you don't get to see typically that were outstanding in college, but maybe aren't in the NBA, so don't have the same recognition that those NBA guys have.
Right. It was a great experience. I had a good friend of mine, Eric Devendorf, reached out to me. We played against each other in Ukraine, and then just him playing in Syracuse, and me being from upstate New York also. He's heard about me, and of course I saw him play at Syracuse during his time. I'm a little bit older, but like I said, we did cross paths in Europe as well, and we were able to develop a good relationship. And he reached out to me, and it was my pleasure to accept and play on the team. So, like you said, Purdue didn't have a team at the time, so there were no hard feelings for me playing on Syracuse then.
Mhm. Going forward, if Purdue continues to have their team, Minna Mackey, do you think you'll play with them?
Oh, I'm sure that they could get a lot younger guys than myself, and be okay. You know, um, not saying that I wouldn't let it play, or that I couldn't play, but they I'm sure they'll have no problem selected from the great alumni that have gone through there and who are a lot younger as well.
Yeah. So I wanted to get back to kind of your college career because I think it's an amazing story. It's really cool. So you started off at Boston College, um,
Correct.
and then you ended up transferring to Purdue. So why did you choose Boston College to begin with? And then after you were there for a year, what made you want to transfer? Like why weren't you comfortable there?
Okay, so the main reason why I chose Boston College because it was the one of the a high level college that was playing in a great conference. They're playing in the Big East, and then also it was one of the closest schools to my hometown. It was only 3 hours drive away, so my parents would be able to come up and enjoy as many games as they could. Um, they'd be able to come to all the home games, so it was just a no brainer for me to choose a place that was not in New York, but very close to New York, to where my parents would be able to enjoy enjoy the games. When I arrived, um, it was a small school. It was a private school, and the program was pretty much in shambles. They had a new coach. They didn't do well the previous year. They cleared their roster, and they were just scrambling to get players. And the coaching staff wasn't 100% honest with me, and that was pretty tough to swallow. So they pretty much just told me whatever they wanted to tell me to get me there, and then once they got me there, um, their actions didn't weren't consistent with what they told me to get me there. And so I ended up deciding that it wasn't the best place for the both of us. um, and I transferred to Purdue. My father's job was transferred out to Fort Wayne, Indiana at the time, and upon leaving Boston College, the, I felt that the best thing for me to do was to go closer to my family, and since they had moved from New York to Indiana, that's what landed me in Indiana.
Hmm. And then so um, from what I understand, you didn't join the team immediately. You kind of you hooped at the co-rec actually, and then you're
Right.
hooping with the guys on the team. So talk about that.
Well, be unbeknownst to me, my father had reached out to Purdue and had spoken with the basketball office, and also he spoke to Frank Kendricks, who was on the coaching staff at the time, but was in the middle of being on his way out, with the NCAA penalizing Purdue for whatever they were doing in the previous years. So I didn't know, but my father had reached out to the team and had made them aware of that I would be coming there. And Frank Kendricks, he I had a nice conversation with him before working out with anybody on the team, and he felt that they had nothing to lose putting, or well, giving a D1 college athlete who played in a very respectable league as a true freshman, a look. So um, Frank Hendricks was real influential on getting me that opportunity to be in a position to get a look from Coach Keady, um, and things just ended up working out.
Mm-hmm. So I believe it was the interview you did with Purdue rivals. Um, you were talking about playing at the Co-Rec. So what all happened with that situation?
Right. Right. Just to stay sharp, I would just between classes or before classes and after classes, I would go to the co-rec and work on fundamentals and skills. So I would always just go there and work out first, and then once I would finish working on the things that I felt that I was trying to improve upon, I would join the games, and also in the co-rec I was able to form and meet and get a good relationship with another Purdue legend from the women's side, Yukari Figs.
Mm.
So that was kind of like my partner at the co-rec, and we used to go there and run the co-rec course, and people started to recognize and ask who I was and where I was from, and so my name, I was able to build a name for myself in the co-rec, and then initially I wasn't gonna try out for the team, but like I said, like my father had contacted the team without my knowledge, and I was building a good reputation for myself within a co-rec, and the guys that I was playing against were saying, "Hey man, you need to try out for the team," because there were some Purdue guys that did end up coming to the co-rec and playing, and I was holding my own against them, and more times than not getting the best of them. So guys were encouraging me like, "Yo, he was on the team, man. You need to go out for the team." Like, so, but I enjoyed every experience that I had at Purdue, and appreciate the relationships that I was able to build while I was there. Um, they were, like I said, there were tough times, and there were there were ups and downs, but I made the best of the situations that were presented for myself during my time there.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you went from not transferring from Boston College, going to Purdue. You didn't even want to. I mean, you didn't think about playing basketball. You were like, "Hey, I'll
Right.
just be an engineer." Um,
Correct.
and then you go play at the Co-Rec, get noticed, walk onto the team, and then by the time you leave Purdue, you're an All Big Ten selection. So talk about that just crazy path in the that like 3 year period.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's crazy because I essentially I went from nobody knowing who I was at all to everybody knowing who I was. So it was I just showed up unexpectedly and had to work extremely hard as a walk on, and not coming from Indiana, because Indiana, they don't really recruit outside of the Midwest, and so there was really no way of Coach Keady and the coaching staff knowing who I was, being coming from so far. Most of the players that get recruited from New York are from the northeast area, and most of the players that play in the Big Ten are recruited from the Midwest. There's so many players in Chicago and Michigan and Indiana that these Midwest schools have the luxury of not having to recruit much from outside of their area. But it was a lot of hard work, and a lot of patience that I had to had to show, and I can honestly say that nothing was given to me at Purdue. Everything was earned through hard work, patience, dedication, and discipline. So I used all those things to my advantage, and made the best out of the situation.
Mm-hmm. and obviously you mentioned him, excuse me, several times. The legendary Coach Keady.
Yeah.
Um, so, what was your relationship like with him, and what was it like playing for him?
Well, Coach Katie's a great guy. Um, Initially, when we first met, we didn't have a relationship. Um, you know, the only thing that we had in common when I first came there was that he was a Yankees fan. So that was something that we shared at the time. But we were able to build a relationship over the years. Um, I'm more of a quiet guy, and Coach Keady is a fiery guy. So our personalities initially probably weren't the best fit, but in any case, before I left Purdue, we were able to have a good relationship, and we still talk to this day.
Yeah, that's super. I didn't know he's a Yankees fan. I'm actually a Yankees fan, all the way from Indiana. So people always uh,
Yeah,
give me a hard time about that. But hey, I have a team that's who I like since I was like I don't know, like 3 years old. So I stick with them. Do you have any good stories?
right. Right.
I've heard a lot of. I know I had Ryan Klein on. He told a good story about Coach Keady that he heard. Do you have any good stories that you could share?
Um, Let me see. Uh, well, I mean, the probably the probably the best story that I have, and it may not be too exciting to everybody, but in my senior year, um, we were we were on the bubble of going to the NCAA tournament, and we needed a win in our last game to solidify a spot for the tournament,
Hmm.
and we were going on the road to play against Michigan at Michigan. So we were really having tough practices beforehand. Coach Keady had us, in football uniforms, and we were wearing like military attire and things like that in practice. Preparing for a war. And just that time and together. Some guys even took it as far as wearing like war paint, like and just that preparation for that game, and the bond that we shared, and we were able to go out and win that game on the road against a tough Michigan basketball team at Michigan to solidify a spot for an NCAA berth. It was a special moment, and also one that I'll keep with me till the end of my time. And I guess the cherry on the Sunday was not only did we win, I was able to drop 36 that game also. So
Yeah, I mean, I mean that's a great story in my opinion. That's kind of crazy. I don't think they could do that now. If Painter did that now, it'd be blasted all over social media. It'd be some.
right, yeah, we were able to get away with a lot of things right now. Um, social media, like you said, social media would take hold of and maybe spin a negative light on it.
Yeah.
So social media wasn't as influential as it is now. So Coach Keady was able to get away with get away with a lot of things that he wouldn't be able to get away with now in these times.
Yeah. I mean, I was obviously too young to really be able to watch Coach Keady coach, and guys like you play. But I mean, ever since I can remember, Matt Painter was Purdue's basketball coach. I've been lucky enough to have him on the podcast. My favorite coach in all of sports. So, how do you think Coach Painter has kind of translated that culture that was set forth by Coach Keady?
Well, Coach Painter is a, a product of Coach Keady. He's just a younger version and a product of all his teachings. And then the thing that I really liked about Coach Painter is he's taken all the knowledge that he learned from Coach Keady and applied it and used it in the way that he felt is best for not only his kids but to for the success of the program. He's done a great job, amazing job. Um, bringing the program to the heights that it has been. Going far deep into the tournament. I was able to catch the runs that they've had since leaving Purdue and since he's taken over at the helm, and he's doing an amazing job. Um, I've met him. I met him one time when he came to Purdue, and I was playing for Coach Keady, but wasn't able to establish a relationship with him until I went and played in that alumni game. And we had a nice conversation, and he gave me his number and encouraged me to reach out whenever needed, and he offered his help in any way that he could, and I'm really thankful for that, and I appreciate him and the relationship that we have.
Hmm. And how much of Purdue basketball like are you able to watch now? Like, I know we just played last night and had a big win.
Yeah, I saw the win last night, and then I saw the tough loss the night before when we were up. But I'm enjoying watching the games, and I'm enjoying what the things that Coach Payne has been able to accomplish over the years, and producing NBA players. Um, and I'll always be a Boilermaker.
Yep, 100%. Just before I let you go, I like to ask this of all my guests. Who do you think is the best player that you've ever played against, in both in college and then in the pros overseas?
Oh, well, the best player that I played against was Michael Jordan.
Oh,
Um,
in co- or
so, well, in college, Coach Keady had a good relationship with Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley. He played golf with them,
mhm.
so his relationship with those guys um, allowed him to have players work Michael Jordan's camp. So that was how that happened. Coach Keady, I was one of the players that was selected to work Michael Jordan's camp. I believe it was my junior year, and so at his camp, we played 5-on-5, and I was able to guard Michael Jordan, and of course that's one of the best players that I've ever played against. He's one of the best in the world, and has the statistics and resume and accomplishments to back it up.
I mean, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Right. Yep. So I really enjoyed that opportunity and meeting him and having one-on-one conversations with him, and I'm thankful for everything that I was able to learn from playing against him, and the little things that he taught me at his camp.
100%. So I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much for coming on. Shout out to Derek Schultz for helping us come together. But it was truly an honor.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Good luck with your podcast, and I'm sure you do some big things, man. It was a pleasure being on the show, and I look forward to continuing our relationship. And if there's any way that I can help you down the line in the near future, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yep, for sure. I appreciate that. and I will get a link for your book, Love, and put that in the
Okay.
description.
Yeah. Here's the
Oh yeah,
cover. I'm in my daughter's room, so she's not here at the moment. So I was able to steal her room for a minute and have some peace and quiet while we had this interview. But once again, like I said, I really appreciate you having me on the show. It's been an honor, a pleasure. Good luck with your show in the near future. And like I said, if there's any way I can be of assistance and help you, please don't hesitate to reach out.
yes, sir. Thank you very much. Stay safe out there.
All right, you too, man. Happy holidays.
Yep, you too.
All right, take care.